One of the things that I get a lot of questions about is what's better to use from a food safety standpoint, a wooden cutting board or a plastic cutting board? And here's the really simple answer. Both of them have drawbacks and benefits. Let's start with a plastic cutting board first. With a plastic cutting board, one of the benefits that I have is I can wash it and sanitize it in a dishwasher. It stands up to a lot of heat, a lot of water, and it will do really well in that environment. So I can kill any pathogens that I might have applied to the cutting board as I've been cutting raw chicken. But the drawback that we have with plastic cutting boards specifically is we end up with grooves over time. They can be pretty good environments for me to put pathogens right inside of it. With a little bit of water, it can grow. So if I'm not using a dishwasher with it, it actually can be a bit of a problem. Let me flip over to wooden cutting boards. Wooden cutting boards, back in the 1980s, there was a lot of discussion about how unclean or unsafe they are. There was a pretty famous set of research papers that were done in the 1980s to look at the safety of wood. And what the researchers found was, as they applied things like Salmonella and Campylobacter to the cutting boards, like you would see with raw chicken, over time, as the wood dried, the wood drying would draw the pathogens inside the cutting board and really just choke them out. Dry out inside there was no water left. The problem that arises with wood cutting boards, though, is that they're not really suited well to go into a dishwasher. So I've got a couple of different compounds, things that you can find in the grocery store that could do the job on wood and plastic. One's a chlorine-based compound spray bottle, and the other one's something that's called quaternary ammonia. The quaternary ammonia has a much better activity on the wood. It works much better with the wood. Chlorine gets bound up with any organic matter, and remember, wood cutting boards, they're all organic matter. They come straight from trees. So if I'm not going to use a dishwasher with my wood cutting boards, because I don't really want to destroy them, I would use a quaternary ammonia spray after I wash off all the debris to do sanitizing. But the most important step with any cutting board is really the drying. So making sure that after I've used it, washed it, cleaned and sanitized, that I don't use them for a while and let all the moisture leave